up, people? It's your boy Osman back again with another Brothers United podcast with my brother, of course, Was. How you, Was?
I'm good, thank you.
Good to have you back on the show. It's been a couple of days. The fans, all four of them, have been missing you. As always, drop a like, subscribe to the channel.
Or more than
Help.
last. Or
Yeah.
more than last.
Exactly. Help us get to 300. I think we've gained 2 subscribers since the last episode. So that's always a positive. You know, we're getting there. We're 9 off. Anyways, that aside, we've got a lot to discuss, in particular the Manchester United transfer news. As always, let us know your opinions down in the comment section if you agree or disagree with anything that we're saying. Probably disagree with most stuff that comes out of our mouth. It's so good. But yes, we're going to just get straight into it. We're going to start with a fellow Welshman. Was, obviously, for those of you that don't know, Was lives in Wales. You know, Welsh pride and all that good. So let's talk Dan James. You know more about him than most of us. Obviously, we've seen him at the international stage prior to coming to Manchester United. There's been a lot of speculation. Potentially, he's going to go on a loan move or even be sold. But I'm assuming it'll be a loan move, if anything. What are your thoughts around that? Do you think that's the right thing to do?
I've pretty much just heard it a bit ago, really. I didn't really know. I've not really kept track with the latest news, but if that is the case, or it's just a rumour, well, let's just say it is a case that he's going to get loaned out. If you get Sancho, it makes sense. Kind of makes sense, yeah, wise, but you need a squad. Who's the backup for Sancho? And obviously, I'd keep him in the squad because I think you learn a lot of Sancho as well. Because Sancho, for his age, although he's quite young, he's got a wise head on his shoulders. And you've seen the way he plays for England. He plays for England, and the runs he makes, the decision making, goals, assists. I don't know. He's just a really clever player for his age. That's what's making him one of the world's best, and all the money that's been tagged with him as well. So I think having Sancho there, he could learn off someone like that. I think normally I'd say, with the younger players, I'd loan him out. But he's what? He's 20 something, 22, 23.
I think he's 22.
Just say 22. He's roughly about 22, I think. I wouldn't personally loan him out. I think he's got something to give to the team, especially when the teams are tired, like we were saying, on the counter-attack. And I think this season could have been his breakthrough season as well. Last season, obviously, it was a bit difficult playing every week in, week out when he wasn't supposed to. He's supposed to be a squad player. Solskjaer brought him in and used him all the time. He didn't really have much of a choice, to be honest.
Yeah.
He did a job, but then you can see he fizzled out because of burnout. So I personally wouldn't loan him out, even if Sancho comes to United. Now, that's my opinion. Obviously, I'm his fan because of from Wales and stuff, but I think he gives a lot, and he could learn from the players that are there, even Pogba, Bruno, and all that. And with the service he'd get running behind, that'd be madness.
Just to touch upon the last thing that you said, in particular the service, obviously utilising his pace in behind. I think for me personally, if this is true, of course, so, the all rumours that we're discussing on this channel. First and foremost, it does show us a positive sign that Sancho is coming in. If this is true, so if we were to loan him out, that does mean we are going to buy a right winger, because it would make no sense to loan him out if we're not replacing that spot. I agree with a lot of what you said. I just think, although it would make sense to an extent because he gets more game time and potentially develop his. But in saying that, to contradict that, he's had stupid amount of game time on Man United anyways. So I just don't see why he'd be loaned out. If anything, and I know I saw one of his interviews with McTominay actually a couple of weeks back where they're doing a little catch-up video. He actually said in that interview with McTominay was interviewing him, he said he wasn't expecting to play this much minutes at all. So obviously, for me personally, I just don't see why you would loan him out, because you need options off the bench first and foremost. Yes, I understand we got a Greenwood and potentially a Garland. Well, we will have a Garland to January, but Dan James off the bench, he can play left wing, he can play right wing. He actually probably favours the left wing position. If Rashford's having a bad game, or we need to stretch the play, or hypothetically we've got Sancho and he's having a bad game, you need to sub on Dan James. He's got the ability to run in behind, like you said, with the likes of Pogba and Bruno to find that killer pass. In behind, it's going to stretch the defence. It's going to opportunity to Bruno to find more areas of space in the number 10 role. So, for me personally, I just think it's a bit stupid. He's a workhorse as well. It's not like he's just got pace. He does actually work very hard off the ball. He does offer a lot. He's basically like a Park Ji-sung in a sense with pace. Obviously, Jesse Lingard is still there. For me personally, I just don't see why you would loan him out and keep Jesse Lingard. It's just obviously I would assume that Lingard is going to fall into that category of doing that sort of cover if James goes out. I'd rather it be James doing that. He's still young. He's still, he's still a prospect. He's still got a lot to learn. And like you said, he's got an opportunity to play with quality players at Man United. If he was to get loaned to a very good team, potentially speaking, I don't know. I was going to say West Ham, obviously not a good team, but a team like that there's not much pressure and he's got ability to play week in, week out, then I suppose I'll be more willing to think about it. But I just think we need a squad. We need options. We can't just be one dimensional. We need people that will run in behind. We need people that will stretch the defense. And James does that in abundance with his pace, tight against tired legs. He's going to win us so many games. Honest to God, if he's utilised as a super sub, he will win us a lot of games this coming season, or even now in the last 9 games of the season, just because of his pace. People can't defend against that. It's as simple as that. You can be the best defender in the world. If someone was 10 times quicker than you, you just can't do anything against it. It's as simple as that, bowling behind. So for me personally, I would keep him. Another person that has been told that he's going to go on loan basically is Chris Smalling, Mike Smalling, as Van Gaal would say. As we know, he's been on loan at Roma and he's been actually touted one of the best defenders in the league this season. That's just obviously commenced, so to speak. What are your thoughts on Smalling? Because apparently he's going to go on a loan again, and with an option to buy from like between 12 to 20 million, which would be good money for him given his age. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, actually, I don't mind Smalling as a backup defender. I think he's a good, obviously better than Jones and Rojo, obviously.
Who's not better than Jones?
Yeah, even me with my pink salmon boots, I mean better than him. But no, basically, I think he's a better option as a backup defender. But I don't think he wants to sit on the bench because he's coming on with his age and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the only problem with loaning him to Roma, I think, is say if you loan him for 1 year, even if he has a really good year, or he has not the same as the previous one, and they decide to bring him back, I think we missed the chance to sell him then. You should sell him, if you're going to sell him, when he's at his peak or he's done really well. But this is where you can cash in, basically. Otherwise, if he has a poor season, then after that, he's pretty much finished, and we're going to lose out. We're going to get 20 million, 25 million.
To be fair, 20 million for Smalling is good money, to be quite honest with you.
Look, Dan James was 15 million. Obviously, the different positions. But
yeah.
But, that's the bargain.
No, but that's a good point that you made regarding that. Obviously, if you loan him out and he doesn't have a good season, they're going to be like, okay, we don't want to buy him now. We just lost out on the potential sale. I think the issue is at the moment that obviously because of the virus, there's not as much money in football. So in particular with, let's say the Italian teams, they're trying to do a lot of swap deals, i.e. loan deals, that kind of thing. So that's understandable that they're trying to approach it like that.
He hasn't got time on his side.
Yeah, but
he hasn't got. If he was, I think his age.
We should try to push him for that sale though, definitely, rather than doing them a favor. Because how many teams do us a favor in the market? Next to none of them.
Italian teams are known for this. They're really nitpicking and they're just gonna milk the player dry basically, and then afterwards, once they've used it, that's it. Give it back on what we left with an older player that's kind of obviously the Italian league is a lot slower as well. We know that. So it suits his style. Might have improved. I mean, he might feel more comfortable. I don't know his situation.
Well, he has, like I said, he has been fantastic. He has been fantastic, but for me personally, I'd sell him. We don't need him. We don't need Jones. We don't need Rojo. Like, I want Swansea to be given a fair chance at some point, or at least give him the option to be the fourth defender. Definitely. Bailly if fit for me is one of the best defenders in the league, to be honest with you, because he's just not. He's so hard to get past. Like you saw it when Vardy had that fantastic season, he couldn't get past Bailly. Like Bailly was not allowing this man to get past him, and he's quick. So. For me, Smalling, he's been a good servant. I think people need to put a bit of respect on his name. I'd be very critical of him, but I've got to say, especially under Van Gaal in particular, but even after Van Gaal, I thought he's been fantastic for United. Of course, he has made a couple of mistakes here and there, but at the whole, he's been one of the better defenders, but without a shadow of a doubt. So we do need to put respect on him, but saying that, I just don't think he's good enough. Got to ship him on, basically. Get that money in, put it towards potentially signing another player. 20 million is not bad. You get 10 million for Rojo, maybe 5 million for Jones. Even pay the team 5 million to take Jones, and then you got a bit for Kitty there, so you can put it towards players. But yeah, let's talk about the last rumor. This one was this has been here and there for quite a while now. Of course, I'm talking about Grealish. A lot of speculation came out last week saying if Man United will have to pay roughly on the ballpark of 80 million if Aston Villa don't get relegated. However, if they do get relegated, that fee will be significantly less. Regardless of the fee, Was, what are your thoughts on Grealish, and would you be interested in signing him?
If we get him for like 40, 50 million, around about there, 50 maybe might be a bit of a push. You probably get 40 for him. I'd take him. You know why? Because I think he's another leader like Bruno. We're actually buying leaders for a change, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you got another like almost captain, like ex-captain from say Aston Villa if he moves, in the team, and that suddenly starts to look like a decent spine. You know what I mean? As a backup as well. If you got this won't happen, but if it did happen, if you got rid of Lingard and Pereira, make way for someone like Grealish or Jude Bellingham, I'd sign him. I'd sign him and get that quality in the squad depth, because I think we lack that. You know, like obviously off the bench, who do you look to make a difference? I've seen a few of the YouTubers and I've listened to them as well, and they've all said a similar kind of thing. Who do we look to? You need like squad depth as well. Do you know what I mean? Like
but do you think you'll be happy? Sorry to interrupt you.
That's the issue.
Sorry to interrupt. Do you think he'll be happy to be a?
I think that's the issue that.
What? Hello?
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that, because once you've been captaining a side, even though it's a relegation type of side, and then you come into a team where you get a bit part role, you still get about 20, 30 games, well, let's say 20 odd games a season, depending. You won't be starting all of them, maybe the odd one here and there. But what if Bruno or Pogba gets injured? Do you know what I mean? That's the question, and they need to answer. We've had injuries this season, and we know how our backup anything is. Even with the backup strikers and that, we don't have that kind of firepower, I think. So yeah, I'd sign him. Sign him before someone else signs him, and there's a good player there.
Interesting, right? Okay, my opinion is slightly different. You know, the point regarding Lingard and Pereira, if you were to sell them, then sign Grealish, I agree with that. However, I just don't see where he fits in. He kind of likes to play in that Bruno position. You know, obviously he has played on the left wing as well, which of course Rashford is occupying that currently. But he does seem to kind of hover around that Bruno position like a free role, so to speak. And I just don't see how he would get into the team. Obviously, he's a quality player, don't get me wrong, and he will bring strength and depth, but I don't think he's a right winger, although he can obviously play there because he's a quality player. But I just don't think he fills that. It's like a square peg in a round hole, so to speak. Like, if we don't really need him. Obviously, if we're short on funds, I personally think we need to focus on signing players that we definitely need, i.e. a right wing, CDM, and a centre back.
This is just like a cherry on the cake.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we get rid of Pereira and Lingard, if we were to sell both of them, just say we got 25 million for both of them two, and then you can get a Grealish for, I don't know, 45, 50 million. So basically an equivalent of 25 million net spend, then of course I think it'd be a no-brainer, wouldn't it? 25 million for a player of that caliber. And then obviously he replaces them in the squad, so then it's not an issue as long as he knows that he's coming in to fight for his place. I don't want him to, you know, upset the apple cart. I'm very big on. I think it's important that we learn from Sanchez, because that's me as a fan. I wanted Sanchez badly, for obvious reasons, because his quality and all that stuff. But he completely messed up the dynamic of the club, and this probably isn't a fault of Sanchez. It's more a fault of, you know, other people around him. Bringing him into a position that there was only Rashford and Martial fighting for the left wing spot. Then they brought another person in fighting for the left wing spot. I feel like sometimes you can have too much squad depth. You've seen it with Manchester City. People saying, "Oh, look at the squad depth," but Leroy Sané is leaving now because he's not been getting the game time, and he's a quality player. It's just Grealish falling that category in terms of his ambition to be playing week in, week out. Obviously, we've seen with Liverpool as well, Shaqiri, another quality player, very similar to Grealish in a sense. I'd probably say Grealish is a bit better in terms of his quicker and that kind of stuff. Quality-wise, they're very similar. But even Shaqiri, he's played bit parts here and there, and you can tell he's not been happy. You know, you got likes of Lallana. They all fall in the same category. Important to have in the squad. Like I said, if it means Pereira and Lingard are leaving and we get Grealish in, then I'm all for it. But if Lingard and Pereira don't get sold, then we get Grealish. I think it's too many players.
Yeah, rather get another. I don't think another striker, or obviously right wing. I prefer CDM. You know, someone to.
I want Partey, man, not Ndidi.
I'll be perfect. NDD, obviously, for a certain
Obviously,
reason.
you in it. We want you in mid the CDM.
Yeah, yeah. No, but I mean, like, if we get NDD and what do you call it, that's just be perfect. Because obviously, Matic is obviously coming to the end of his
Yeah,
career
he's
almost.
not old,
But
but
this is the
Matic isn't
perfect
old,
time.
but he's
Like, while he's playing, while Matic is playing really good, this is probably the best I've ever seen him play for United. You might as well get another player in, blood him in, so you can learn the trade off Matic, who's
yeah.
probably going to be outgoing soon. You're loving it. I'm telling you now, you're loving it. This is where you need to act. But I don't know if United are.
Yeah, but
I don't know if they're going to act quick enough. They're really
Can
slow. Look
McTominay
at Chelsea, the way they bought.
just to interrupt you? Can McTominay play that role though? Because a lot of people say McTominay, because he has done it. You know, he has
I
done
don't,
that role, and he's done a fantastic job as well. To be fair to him.
he can, he can, but the only thing with McTominay, does he have the discipline to actually stay in that role? It takes a lot of discipline to just stay there. Matic does get carried away as well sometimes when he tries to make those. He thinks he's
Maronian
Ronaldinho after a
runs,
few seconds.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he gets caught out because people rush him. And then McTominay, in that sense, at least he can play the ball. He's got a bit about him. He can take a
Yeah.
player on. Long legs, you know, he can stretch him out and that, get past the players. So I don't think he needs that much adapt, you know, that much to adapt to make that
Yeah.
role his. Do you know what I mean? It's not that above and beyond, and especially with the progress he's made recently. I hated McTominay. I'm like, what is the point of this guy? But he's proved me wrong. So yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, that's another way to get someone like McTominay in, and he's a future captain as well. There you
Yeah,
go.
I
So
think it is interesting.
either way, save money
Yeah,
by putting it somewhere we need in it. But we do need a
the
CDM.
DM chat is interesting. I think McTominay is definitely capable of playing that role. Like I said, future leader. He's another leader, definitely, man. That you can tell. You know, even from his interview
I'm
with
loving the
Dan James as
leadership.
well. His interview with Dan James as well. You can tell that he's got like an older brother figure on Dan James as well. He's putting his arm around him, which is exactly what we need. We need that sort of throughout the whole squad. So yeah, in that sense, Grealish would be good signing. But obviously, it remains to be seen. That aside, it has been your Brothers United podcast. Let us know in the comments if you agree or disagree with anything that we have said. As always, drop a like, subscribe, follow the social
Please
media pages.
subscribe.
Please subscribe. Yeah, it's been your boy Smine. Go United! Go on!
Peace.